My name is Lee Fennell, and the book is called The Unbounded Home. It was published by Yale University Press, September 2009. Well, I've always been interested in land use issues and the different conflicts that arise between people who are living or working on adjacent properties, and the home is a particularly interesting example that I wanted to look into in a lot more depth. In part, this is because the home is something that's very familiar. We all sort of know what it means to own a home, or we think we do. But what the home actually is made up of is a lot more than just the structure, just the land that the home is sitting on. It really has to do with a lot of things that are happening off-site. So when you buy a home, you're not just shopping for, a split level or a ranch or whatever. You're looking for a location. You're looking for local schools. You're looking for nearby shopping, a reasonable commute. There's various land use tools, property tools, that are used by communities to try to control what happens in larger areas than the individual parcel. But what I suggest in the book is that these oftentimes don't work very well. They're not well tailored to achieve the objectives, and they can have some negative consequences. So my goal was to think about how those kinds of tools could be perhaps rethought and improved upon, and more generally, how we could think about homeownership itself. This is especially important to look at right now because we have so many commentators that are discussing whether homeownership is actually something we ought to be promoting broadly through society. There certainly have been people questioning whether we ought to perhaps do less to try to encourage it, and those are all sort of valid conversations, but what I want to suggest in the book is that there are some things that are very important about home ownership that we might want to hang on to, and that in order to get those benefits without having the kinds of financial vulnerabilities that we've seen lately and the kind of fallout that can come from that there's ways that we can actually change what homeownership is. There's lots of reasons to believe that if we were to scale back what people who own homes actually are on the hook for in terms of risks, then we could make home ownership work better for people. An example I talk about in the book is just think of a local business. I use the example of a local ice cream shop that you go to. You go there to consume ice cream. You order your cone. Nobody makes you buy stock in the business. Nobody makes you take an ownership share so that if they do really well in the future, you get some kind of bonus mailed to you in the mail, or if they do poorly, you have to send in a check. But when you buy a home, you actually do have to not just buy the thing that you're consuming, the house, the property. You have to also buy what amounts to sort of an ownership interest in all of these larger effects that are happening off-site that you don't really have any control over. And there are a variety of ways that homeownership could be changed so that some of that risk could be offloaded to investors. If we were to imagine a world where you initially didn't bear all of those risks, and we were to sort of say, do you want to go out and buy shares in what happens in your local housing market? Well, people might say, maybe not. Maybe I want to invest in that, but maybe not. It might not necessarily have to be a default part of the bundle that I buy.